has no longer any objective basis for defining anything, including its own language. And so words can be redefined, words can be changed in an instant. Then it says that so many people out there who just want to be loved and cared for equally. No. Very obviously, it's not equally. Very obviously, it's in a different way. They are not content with equality. They will only be content with redefinition. It is foolishness, abject foolishness, to think that what is being asked for is equality in marriage. Marriage equality is a lie. It is a lie for the small-minded. It is a lie for the irrational. It is a lie for those who know nothing about history. It is a lie for those who know nothing about ethics and morality. If you want marriage equality, then what you want to do is destroy marriage. When you talk about marriage equality, you're not talking about kids being able to marry kids, so you don't believe in marriage equality. Most of you yet aren't talking about moms being able to marry daughters or sons, or vice versa, or grandparents, grandchildren. You're not talking about that. You're not talking about marriage between species. So you're not talking about marriage equality because there are people who want to do all of these things. If you are not promoting polyamory and polygamy, you don't believe in marriage equality because there are people who absolutely feel that they must express their love with multiple partners. So you don't believe in marriage equality. What you believe in is destruction of marriage. Destruction of marriage. You want to not just redefine it, but redefine it so that it becomes emptied of its fundamental and God-given meaning. Now, you may not be smart enough. Yes, that's what I just said. You may not be smart enough to realize how you're being used in this, and sadly, the majority of people, that's the truth. They have been emptied of their critical thinking capacities. And so they think with their emotions rather than with their minds. And they're being used by others whose purposeful intention is the destruction of the God-given marriage unit. But you're just being used by them. You don't even realize that. It's not your purpose. You're not smart enough to realize it. You're just being used. And that is the majority of the society. Because, as I've said 1,000 times, you've been taught how to think, taught what to think, not how to think. The process, the ability to think critically, to listen to another perspective and go, not simply on the basis of, I'll have to change to identify that, but instead the ability to go, here's my worldview, there's their worldview, let's engage in a meaningful discussion to see whose worldview actually lines up with reality. No, can't do that. No. That's not allowed anymore. So here we have this idea, they just want to be loved and cared for equally without fear of persecution like everyone else. Everyone else, including pedophiles and those who want to have sex with animals and incest and polyamory, and go, don't bring those things up. We have to. They're bringing these things up. You know that. You're talking about destroying the lines of morality and sexual ethics, and so you have to recognize that there are people using the exact same arguments to promote every single one of these other perspectives. You can close your eyes and just go, I'm not going to listen, I'm not going to hear all you want. It just demonstrates once again, you're irrational. You're irrational. You can't deal with the truth. You can't handle the truth, as someone once said in a movie. And then it says that you're saying they are less than you, less than me, less than anyone who is straight. See, notice. If you say that someone's behavior is wrong, then you're saying they are less than you. That's the mindset. You are dehumanizing them. So any moral judgment. Now, of course, this person undoubtedly will ignore the reality that they are saying that Christians are less than the promoters of homosexuality and homosexualism because we're being bigoted and so on. So they won't live consistently, but they'll make this kind of assertion. You're saying they're less. I'm not saying they're less. In fact, it's just the opposite. Because we're all made in the image of God, we're all going to stand before the judgment bar of God. So I'm not saying they're less, but I am saying they will be judged. What makes you think that condemning an entire group of people and claiming they will lead to the destruction of society has anything whatsoever to do with Christ's teaching to love one another as we love ourselves? Now here again, let's take one phrase from Jesus, ignore what he's quoting, which is Leviticus 19:18, ignore the context of Leviticus 19, which happens to be the chapter I'm preaching on. Started preaching 2 weeks ago and will be, Lord willing, finishing up or at least making good progress this coming Lord's Day. Ignore the reality of where that comes from and the fact that it's right in the middle of sexual, political, moral, ethical law, including in the chapter before and the chapter afterwards, the specific, clear prohibition of homosexual behavior. Ignore all that, which all of Jesus' hearers would have certainly understood because they actually had read the Bible. Ignore all that stuff, transport that out, fill the word love with a meaning Jesus would never have understood and would never have promoted. Plop it down in the middle of the unthinking 21st century, and voila, you have the essence of the new unbiblical Christianity. There you go. There you got it. Now, by the way, I don't think this will lead to the destruction of society. I believe it is a clear, obvious sign of the judgment of God that will lead to the destruction of this society. It's judgment. That's what it is. I mean, it's sinful, but it's because God's going, oh, you love yourselves that much? You reject me so much? Okay, there you go. We'll let you do your thing. That's what being given over is all about. Do you truly think that if a person is blessed to find a partner in life who will support them, love them as they are without conditions, they're not loving